Tonight at 6, beat the heat. A scorcher ahead here at home. The summer months officially here. We're live with ways to cope from feeling hot, hot, hot.
That is right. The official start of summer, full day anyway, started today, and right on cue, we're jumping right into the heat. We'll talk about a heat advisory for tomorrow coming up.
8-year-old rescued. Newly released body camera video shows the moments the child found safety in the arms of officers. And all after Good Samaritans reported seeing her running through traffic. We've got more. Teens off the streets, the latest curfew crackdown that could come to D.C. this summer. And summertime savings from cutting down of rising energy costs. To your next visit to the supermarket, we're stretching your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. We're to meteorologist Scott Sumner. As we said, it's going to be a scorcher come tomorrow. Scott, a couple weather advisories in the mix. What are we looking at?
Yeah, well, let's take one at a time here, but you're right. Actually, we're going to start off with, as you see here, some temperatures going in throughout the evening tonight. And you can see the numbers dropping out of the 80s and staying in the 70s here, down into the middle 70s. So it is going to be kind of a muggy or a little bit of a, well, mild night to say the least. Obviously middle 70s is mild out there, but a little muggy as well. Now we also, as we go into Sunday, we will have a heat advisory that's going to be in play here, as noted by the color and shade of these counties here. Now that will run from noon right till 8 o'clock tomorrow. Now what does that mean for you and I if you're living in any of these counties, which does include western Maryland or parts of western Maryland and Washington and Allegheny counties, as well as the eastern panhandle of West Virginia? Well, that means you could be seeing the temperature plus the humidity give us a heat index, or a feels like index, of around the low 100-degree mark. So yes, it is going to be a bit of a blaze out there for tomorrow. Our satellite radar is pretty quiet, as you would expect it to be. As we zoom on out a little bit, this is the little devil right here, this high pressure system. Normally it's our friend, but this week it's going to be a heat maker for us. We'll talk more about that coming up in my main weather in just a bit. Ben?
Heat making forecast. Thanks, Scott. All right, people are looking for all kinds of ways to beat the heat. It's already on our doorstep, even hotter come tomorrow. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us live in Northwest DC at the Lafayette Pointer Rec Center. Dave, looks like a pretty cool way to get some relief out there.
Yeah, Ben, I can tell you right now that definitely that water behind me feels even better than it looks. This is one of several dozen spray parks operated by the DC Department of Parks and Recreation. It's a popular gathering place when it gets hot, and not just for kids, but for the adults as well. Let me step out of the way here so you can see exactly what's going on. Plenty of families have gathered throughout the day to take advantage of the cool weather. This one is among the 36 around the city that has opened up for families right now just on weekends. But starting on Monday, all the spray parks will be open 7 days a week. And as you have heard for a couple of days now, we are looking at the temperatures to soar into the upper 90s. In fact, it's expected to feel a whole heck hotter when you factor in the humidity. Parents say they're glad to have somewhere to take their kids to stay cool while outdoors. Just a reminder, starting Monday, the spray parks will be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are live at Lafayette Pointer Park in Northwest. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thanks. Stay cool out there. Coming up in our next half hour, a look at where you can escape to cool off in Virginia during this heat wave. As the DC News Now, of course, and our full team of meteorologists tracking it all. Stay up to date on the latest. Scan that QR code right there on your screen. Whip out those phones, and we'll take you to the DCNewsNow.com weather page for the latest conditions and forecasts. Meantime, there are still homes without power after Thursday's damaging storms, winds dropping suddenly in the DMV. Some are still without air conditioning. Here's what neighbors had to say as they continue to recover.
I could see how fast that system was moving.
People running for cover in D.C., mangled power lines in Virginia, and trees on homes in Maryland. Thursday's severe storm, not one to soon forget.
We heard a giant crackling and almost like an explosion.
Oscar Duval's Bethesda home hit by a falling tree. Neighbors also taking on damage.
We looked back, my sister jumped off the couch near, and the tree had gone through part of our porch and onto our roof. It's not, something I think is fully registered in my head just yet. Half our lawn covered in a tree.
Cleanup, that's part of bouncing back, as is getting the lights back on and AC cranking.
I woke up this morning, still at 6 in the morning, still no power.
Stephen Ramsey in Alexandria says he and his dog stayed in his car for AC Thursday night, then hitting the hay inside in the heat.
I called out of work just because I didn't want to leave my dog out here, not knowing how hot it's going to get. And that's it, still here. Surprised that it hasn't gone back on.
Around 9 o'clock Friday morning, Dominion said they got power back on for more than 80% of 280,000 customers left in the dark, all after dark clouds looming overhead dropped torrential rain and whipping winds to end the spring season.
Said at least somebody wasn't hurt, so in the end, really, that's what matters.
And crews have been hard at work. We saw it just last night. Right now, Pepco says roughly 1,500 D.C. and Maryland customers are without power. Dominion Energy reports just shy of 1,000 customers without power in Northern Virginia. As a reminder, during severe weather, your house may face brutal conditions. So now may be the time to equip your house with accessories needed to survive the storm in the aftermath. So review your insurance policies. Go ahead and seal those windows and doors. Have a safety plan, and while you're also looking at the maintenance, consider DIY storm shutters. All right, new tonight, a Maryland State Police trooper was hospitalized after a vehicle hit his cruiser while he was idling on I-495 just this morning. Troopers say it happened on the inner loop of the Beltway, a Greenbelt road, around 2:45 a.m. in Prince George's County. We're told a trooper was investigating a separate crash at the time. The police cruiser's lights reportedly on and flashing. That officer taken to shock trauma in Baltimore. Good news, they've been released from the hospital. Now, authorities say the driver of that vehicle that crashed into the cruiser may have been impaired. No word on their injuries and what led up to the crash. One of your top stories. Police officers rescued a missing 8-year-old girl with autism earlier this month after people reported seeing her running through traffic in Montgomery County. Check out this body camera video. This rescue happened 2 weeks ago on the night of June 4th. The girl's mother called 911 to report her missing from their home. When officers were out searching, several bystanders called police after seeing a child run through traffic near Middlebrook and Frederick Roads. This video shared just yesterday shows how one of those officers was holding the girl after finding her running in the area, telling her that they're going to get her home and safely. Officer put the girl in the cruiser as she waited for her mother to arrive. Good police work there. In the district, new details about a possible curfew coming later this summer. Mayor Muriel Bowser proposing emergency legislation as she hopes it's going to prevent so-called teenage takeovers like recent problems in the Navy Yard and the Wharf. Now, if passed, teen curfew will be set at 11 p.m. every night through August. It would impact anyone 17 years old and younger. The proposal gives police an option to begin a curfew in some areas at 7 p.m. for up to 30 days. Neighbors have mixed feelings.
Having in groups, you don't see just one of them around there. They 5, 6, 7 of them. So I think if they have a curfew, limit the amount of people that's together, I think that would help.
I mostly see it's not a total solution. We need to think more on what we can do for the kids to socialize safely.
City Council is expected to consider the mayor's legislation July the 1st. All right, speaking of City Hall, D.C. trash crews will now start picking up your trash a little earlier, and that's to do what? Beat the heat. Well, through September, the Department of Public Works will start pickups at 6 in the morning, and on extreme heat days, they'll start at 5:30. Be sure to put your trash out early or maybe even the night before. All right, from trash to power. This week, Fairfax County broke ground on Virginia's first solar array built on a closed landfill. The 5-megawatt project spans 37 acres at the I-95 landfill, powering 1,000 homes, saving the county reportedly an estimated $12 million over 3 decades. It's part of a broader push for renewable energy set to be done by 2026. On the move and developing now, some big changes coming to Metro. There's something new for early risers and night owls. WMATA says they're extending weekend times by an hour in the morning and at night. Our Max Marcilla explains those changes.
If you were one of the many people stuck in the awful red line congestion on Wednesday because of a signal error, well, the latest news from Metro is a flip of the script.
The lines were incredibly busy, and I just decided to get out and walk at Van Ness and catch an Uber about 4 blocks away from the Metro.
Madeline was one of those stuck commuters late to the office on Wednesday and now is one of many Red Line riders excited for the new changes.
An extra minute can make all the difference if you're running late, and there's been a lot of congestion in the mornings and in the afternoons on the Metro, so I think an extra minute would be very well received.
That change is not the only one. Metro announcing that weekend hours are extending an hour earlier in the morning, so now 6 a.m., and an hour later at night, 2 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday mornings.
I sell flowers over there, so I come up here on the weekend to do my flowers, and if I can get here extra hour earlier, that gives me time to set up.
A chance to be even more productive in the mornings and have another option to get home safely after a late night.
It just means that we can stay out later, we can go dancing a little bit longer, and enjoy a little bit more of what DC has to offer.
Our thanks to Max. Meantime, Metro says a new map will debut on station screens tomorrow. The Silver Line will now split after Station Armory, some going to New Carrollton, others still to downtown Largo. Then in December, there will be a yellow line change. Some of those trains will go all the way to Greenbelt. Well, Juneteenth was, of course, on Thursday. However, celebrations keep on going through the weekend. Today, Montgomery County residents celebrated with the Freedom at the Rock Festival. It featured live music, food, art, films, and awards. Organizers say the event is important to uplift the talent of black artists and promote black-owned businesses.
Being here for this program, it brings the community together to learn, to inspire, and develop in the way that they can, especially in the black excellence that we can become and achieve and have achieved.
I think I heard Anita Baker in the background. All right, the festival lasts until 10 o'clock tonight. In the district this weekend, the giant barbecue battle is ongoing. The country's best pitmasters descend on DC to show off their flavors and cooking techniques. The barbecue battle includes, yes, great food as well and demonstrations. It runs until 9 o'clock tonight and continues tomorrow 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. As a bonus, your DC News Now team is there. Come on, say hi and get some DC News Now merch. Happy to say hello. Coming up, helping you save and stretch your dollar, the simple and easy things to do right now to potentially keep big bucks in your wallet for your electric bill. Plus, the clock is ticking. How long the Smithsonian museums are staying open as we celebrate the start of summer. Live look over Northeast DC tonight. Scott's coming back with the latest on your forecast. It's going to be hot, 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 folks. We'll tell you when. Coming up.